up top Iceland national player. She had a brace against South Florida, and they went down to the Bulls 3-2 in a thriller. They're ready to get back on track here as they will take on their nemesis, the Virginia Cavaliers. There's head coach Tony DeLuz, his 23rd season. Ready chopping at the bit, right? It's been a grind, and he's ready to grind it out, right, Megan?
Absolutely. I mean, Wake Forest has got to, like I said in the intro, really put in the 90 minutes it's going to take to beat this incredibly talented Virginia team.
I have to mention that Virginia will be without Deanna Ordonez, the outstanding freshman that has 9 goals on the season. She was out against Penn State, and she'll be out again. She's day to day. She's an outstanding freshman. So that, I guess, will be good news for Wake Forest. They don't have to worry about number 9, but the rest of the team is pretty talented.
Yeah, I mean, Ordonez has 20 points on the season. Those are big numbers.
As a freshman.
As a freshman. So Wake Forest certainly happy about that. But like you said, McCool will be a big threat tonight.
There's McCool right there going up against Vicky Krug on the outside channel. Wake Forest in their gold tops and their black shorts. Virginia in their dark blue and orange numbered. Wake Forest with a little press. Thought maybe we'd see some press here early, Megan.
You know, after talking to Coach DeLuz earlier today, I think they're going to try to stay very compact. They want to keep numbers behind the ball to start. Virginia wants to spread the field. They like the possession. Wake Forest, you can see they're sitting in. They're going to be very calculated in how they step to the ball. And again, they don't want to get stretched out in those 1v1 situations.
Wake Forest not starting Youngener tonight. Youngener has been starting for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. This time they're going to go with McNamara and Arnesdottir up top. But Youngener is in the midfield. And she'll go up against Jarrett, who is a dangerous threat for Virginia.
Youngener doing a great job there. 1v1 Jarrett is going to be a real challenge for Wake Forest on that right side.
Interesting to see that Youngener is not playing in the forward position and going to play in the midfield. But we'll see if she contributes to the attack. And here's the first corner of the match for both squads. Kennedy comes out, punches it away, and a shot, and it goes off to the left. Not exactly right on the laces. But that's Courtney Peterson, the senior, with a bit of a shot. There is Megan Kennedy, the grad student from Cornell. She's back in the pipes again. She's had a phenomenal season. She kind of hits again the trials and tribulations with the schedule. A tough game against North Carolina, because those goals were in the first half, or right at the last 15 minutes, and then in the second half, the last 15 minutes, kind of worn down. And then South Florida is a very talented team. I'm surprised they're not as ranked as high as they are. They're only, I think, 22nd at this point. But you have somebody like Vian going at you every time down. That's a tough matchup. They lost 3-2 in that game. And a little 2-game losing streak. They hope to maybe snap that. But here's the bad news. They're playing number 1 Virginia. And Wake Forest has never beaten the number 1 team in the nation. They hope that changes. 3 ACC teams have been number 1 so far. Only September 20th. Florida State started it off. Carolina became number 1. They lost to Arkansas. Now Virginia takes over. And here comes Wake Forest trying to set up an attack. Sophia Rossi, who's dangerous, going to put the service in, and Virginia will clear it out. There's Phoebe McLaren, the senior. Throw in the attacking third, and it's the Wofford grad student taking the throw in. Lizzie Schneider usually plays in the back. She's playing more in the midfield. This play there by Arnesdottir. Madison Hammond moves back. She played in the back last year. She's more comfortable in the midfield position, but Luz needs her back there to stop this potent attack of Virginia. Outscoring their opponents 35-3 in the regular season.
I'll tell you what, both these teams are so good in possession. You've got Tony DeLuz on one side, Steve Swanson on the other. These guys are the ultimate soccer possessing coaches. They love to see good passing, spacing. They want to see their team in control. So it's going to be a bit of a chess match tonight if what we're seeing right now stands.
There's head coach Tony DeLuz, and then there is the assistant coach for the U.S. women's national team and a head coach, well, the head coach in the NBA, obviously, his 20th season, Steve Swanson. Straight off, fresh off a World Cup win this year in France. He stepped right off the plane and went straight to the office. That's no celebration. Time to get back to work.
Yeah, Steve's been at that national team a long time.
400 wins, 409 wins in his career. Has been an absolute joy for Virginia. 7 conference champs, 24 NCAA appearances. And he just keeps bringing in talent after talent. They brought in the 14th ranked recruiting class this year. Ordonez being the centerpiece, but she's not going to be here tonight. But then you bring back 16 players from last year, 35 of the 52 goals from last year back. Flag stays down. Here comes Virginia. Can they get on the scoreboard first? As Peterson puts one into the box and not handled by Kennedy. But luckily, someone there to back her up as it'll go out of bounds for a throw-in. Let's take a look. Peterson with some time. Brown giving her just a little bit of space. Just through the hands, and luckily Youngener comes all the way back to clear it. McCool will play this out of bounds, and luckily for Wake Forest, they get out of a rut there, and it'll be a goal kick. Megan Kennedy, I tell you, it's got to be tough when you have such a, I mean, she had her coming out party against VCU. I mean, that's the reason that went tied. Then you go and play a Carolina team. She did well, of course, got worn down, and not many teams can go to Chapel Hill and beat North Carolina. And then you play South Florida. So Tony DeLuz still sticking with her. She's got the experience. She was MVP of her Cornell team. She's now the goalkeeper for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, the old gold and black. Hannah Bedford on the right side. Not allowing much space for Lily Schneider. Bedford cuts into the middle. Up. Loses the ball. Here's Jarrett. Well done by Wake Forest defense to kind of keeping her at bay right there, because she was making a charge into the box. Flag stays down. The line wanted it. Jarrett puts one right inside the area. And a corner kick awarded to Virginia. Leading their opponents 51 corners to 18. Now you had 2 more, is 53 to 18.
Yeah, you have a player like Jarrett, and it's like she just turns on the jets and gets end line, and that's how you're going to create those corners.
Subkut. Just trying to clear it as the back line moves all the way up. This attack is relentless. As Wake Forest up against the wall here. And now they call offside. Our referees tonight are Michael Laverne and assistant referee Chris Zerner and Ryan Graves. It's Bedford, it's Krug, and it's Madison Hammond in the back for head coach Tony DeLuz.
And Ty, already, I mean, I'm just so excited watching this game. Couldn't, get to 7 o'clock tonight for me because I was so excited to see these players. Because if you're watching from home, kids, look at the technique, look at the skill of these players. This is the future of women's soccer. These are some national team players, future national team players, and it's just so amazing to watch them out here tonight.
Trust me, Megan knows talent. coached, she played, she knows the deal. Artist daughter, speaking of talented players, she hits the ground. This should be a corner kick, and it will be.
That's it.
Artist daughter charging
Corner
through.
kick.
And Artist daughter, Megan, you were talking to head coach
Taking the
Tony
corner,
Lewis, she's trying to get her
number
confidence back. He noticed that her touch didn't seem like Artist daughter's touch, right? And so now she's got some confidence built up.
You
And
can
she's
t-
looking really good.
Yeah, you can see it in her body language. You know, she's just got she's going forward. She seems engaged. Her first touch is key.
There's a good corner by the captain, Madison Hammond. G. DeMarco is there for the support for Hannah Bedford. DeMarco, the sophomore, right at the touchline. McNamara squaring it up. Had to play Youngener. Cut out by Virginia. Virginia on the counter, quickly getting up the field. This is Spanstra. Ryan Brown going up, and here's Jarrett on the left side. Jarrett up against Bedford. She turns the corner, is able to get away from Bedford, lays it off right near the 6. Virginia and Youngener with some body play there, goes right up against Sumter. But Virginia still knocking on the door. They try to stay compact.
Wake Forest doing a good job there defensively. You can see Virginia, they're just so composed on the ball, even in the 18-yard box. But Wake Forest is going to try to have a little more possession tonight.
That's a good idea, just not connect. Sorry, didn't mean to.
No, absolutely. But that's what Wake Forest, you're seeing it from their side too. They've stepped up their game to match Virginia so far, where they're trying to possess the ball and look for those seams in the back line. Even though Wake Forest is in, you know, what we might call a 3-5-2, a 5-3-2, they're going to look for those wide players to get into the attack. They also have to do the work defensively.
They looked for the seam there as Lily Schneider tried to connect with Abby McNamara. Virginia going the long ball using the speed of Jarrett and the speed of Ryan Brown. Can't stop Jarrett. Jarrett inside the 18, and she puts a charge on that one. That's a little too much. It'll go out of bounds.
Yeah, Ryan Brown just overcommitted on Jarrett there. She did a great job closing her down. But then, here it is. Just whoop. There goes Jarrett right by her.
Yeah, she has a little bit. She had that beeline speed, and then Jarrett was able to hit the brakes right there at the byline, but was able to get by. And luckily for Wake Forest, they were able to keep it as a goal kick because there was a little too much sauce on that one. Goes out of bounds. But you're right, Megan. I mean, right, hit the brakes, kind of like a Top Gun thing, right? Hit the brakes, you go right by her.
Bye-bye.
Vicky Krug. And that will go through the wickets of Youngener. Stout line, though, with some experience and definitely leadership. Vicky Krug and Madison Hammond, and the newly transformed defender, Hannah Bedford.
Look at how the spacing for Virginia, using every inch of this massive field at Spry Stadium. I don't think teams quite understand what it's like coming in here to play because the field is so big. But these teams know how to use it.
They are spread out. Brown near the touchline. Looking for someone to make her run, so she'll play the support. It's fourth time that UVA has faced Wake Forest in an ACC opener for them. They're 3-0. 30th meeting between these two teams. It goes back to 1994. We all know Wake Forest and Virginia soccer, a bit of a rivalry between each other, men and women. Miscue there as Youngener wanted to play Sophia Rossi. Not on the same page. Jarrett now on the right side. And Jarrett puts a beautiful ball right at the 6-yard mark. Now that is a beautiful display of football. Let's see if we could see that again. Just a great center by Jarrett.
It's a quality cross. It's coming across, but
Right there.
Sumner just could not get high enough to knock that ball back down.
Vicky Krug goes down, and a little reckless challenges. The referee's right on top of it, and it'll be a penalty and a kick for Wake Forest. Pressure continues. That was Megan McCool, the Warrior, as they like to call her. She goes in 110% on every play.
I will say Wake Forest sets a little bit of a warning shot that last trip into the box for Virginia. They cannot allow a single player to be open in the box. I will say that will be the last time Virginia is that wide open and the ball does not go in the back of the net.
Another turnover, not what Tony DeLuz and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons want, as Torres ran onto that one. It'll be a free kick as she hit the ground. Torres, the junior from Frisco, Texas, has 1 goal and 3 assists so far on the year. Here comes a ball, and I thought that was going to be in the air, but it was on the ground and cut out by Madison Hammond. Sophia Rossi on the touchline. She goes down, and a penalty called against Virginia, I believe. Yes, they'll call it a penalty. Just a foul, pardon me. And playing the back. So Ryan Brown coming back here using that width. She is a dangerous weapon on the outside if they can use her. Under 30 minutes to go in the first 45. 0-0 our score. Virginia has knocked at the door a couple times despite only having 1 shot. Arnestad staying tight in the middle, waiting for a through ball.
Yeah, Wake Forest center midfielders, a lot of action out of them, moving a lot, trying to get touches. Holda coming back into the midfield to give them a touch to mix it up, and just trying to unsettle that back line of Virginia. Try to pull a defender out, find those gaps.
Look how high they went up. Virginia all the way to midway. And even more as they creep into the territory of Wake Forest.
Gio DeMarco is going to be so important for Wake Forest tonight. She's a center midfielder closing down the ball right there.
Madison Hammond will let that ride out of bounds for a goal kick. There's G. DeMarco, sophomore, phenomenal freshman year. She's her first game back here on her sophomore year. She scored against Charlotte. Quite the talent. Head coach Tony DeLuz from Gwendolyn Valley, Pennsylvania. Wake Forest is known to put some talented players in the midfield. She looks like the next one, right?
Absolutely. I mean, she's been super dependable in that center midfield position. And Tony really needs for her to have her best game tonight.
Cole, foul on Virginia.
I love it. This game's going to be physical. These guys are really going to be fighting for every ball, every chance.
Here's Phoebe McLernan, Westchester, Pennsylvania. And McLernan is on that MAC Trophy watch list, one of 3 on this Virginia squad. And she is close friends with Megan McCool. They go way back. Who's also senior. Schneider right at the touch line. Will try to move it down the line a little too much. DeMarco backs off it. And Ivory trying to continue on this side of the field. Schneider comes to. Schneider, the senior from Raleigh. McNamara just trying to put it into the area. Only really two options with Sophia Rossi and Arnesdottir. And possession back to Virginia. Jarrett. Look how fast she gets down the field. This is McCool and the one hopper right to Kennedy.
What's so exciting about Virginia when they have the ball, their forwards, you know, they feed off each other. If one comes inside, another goes out. They crisscross across the field. And it's so hard defensively to pick those players up when they're that active.
Brian Brown wanting to play the through ball to G. DeMarco. Virginia just putting on that pressure. It's just too much, not allowing much time for Wake Forest to make a decision. As they'll back off Bedford, though.
Yeah, both teams really playing the same style defensively, where they don't engage till right about here, the middle of the field, and then it's really tight.
Youngener wants to play Sophia Rossi. A little too much pepper on that one. That goes too far out in front.
I think Wake Forest rather dump it in if they don't have an outlet, and rather than losing the ball in that midfield, because Virginia is so quick on the attack. Sometimes you just have to bail on a play or it can get exponentially worse.
Virginia still feeling out Wake Forest, though. Only 2 shots. It's surprising, too, to see how many times they've come down the field and at least put across it.
I'm feeling the drums, Ty. I'm feeling the drums.
It's hard to keep still when the drums are going.
A lot of energy here tonight. Wake Forest homecoming. I see some of the men's soccer players rolling into the stadium right now. They're familiar with being #1 in the country.
That's right. Big game for them tomorrow night against Syracuse. There's the drum line. Trying to get some extra energy for this Wake Forest team. Have lost 2 straight to 2 very talented programs, Carolina and South Florida.
You know, as a coach, speaking of the South Florida game for Wake Forest, they are going to be good. They are going to go in the tournament, probably ranked, stay ranked, get higher. So it won't be such a bad loss for Wake Forest down the road. If they can keep grinding out these games, get in a win in a high-ranking opponent, Wake Forest is going to be back in the game for the NCAA tournament.
I agree. South Florida was a very, very talented team. There's head coach Tony DeLuz, 262 wins for him. He has been the face and the man of Wake Forest women's soccer. And he just, like you said when you spoke to him, it's a grind, especially when you play in a conference that brought in 10 teams last year to the NCAA tournament. And 6 that they will play. 6 in the ACC went to the Sweet 16, just to show you how crazy it is. And they have 8 ranked teams in their schedule this year. The 3rd most wins among the ACC coaches. Of course, FSU coach and Steve Swanson right there. Steve Swanson with 400 plus wins. So Coach Swanson has taken 3 schools to league championships. Bedford, a little bit of trouble, but she's very, very comfortable with her feet. Gorzak comes in. Serapka goes out. Zandy also in. Sumter out. Here's Virginia still trying to test Kennedy. They've had 2 times that they've tested her. Ooh, G to Marco. That's the point where you want to get your teammate to say you got somebody on you, because she tried to make a turn and was right there in the vicinity of
Yeah,
Zoe
Marco
Horst.
had no idea that she was under so much pressure right there. It was a good tackle. It looked hard, but it was a clean tackle.
Not much space for be able to turn. This just shows you the type of pressure, the intensity of this UVA team. The energy level is there. I think on both teams, what you say, Megan, is what Virginia.
I would. I think Virginia's getting what they want right here, though. They're waiting for that perfect moment, reading off each other to pressure the ball. They're not going with one player. They're going with 2 and 3, trying to pick up the ball in Wake Forest's defensive half, high near the 18. And again, Virginia around the box is going to be dangerous every time. I look at this, Wake Forest with a turnover.
Arnis Daughter gets past 1. It's 1 against 3. They're going to do something with it. And look how many Virginia Cavalier defensive players are on her. And
Yeah,
Arnis,
Virginia just stood her up, hold her up in the box, didn't foul, but Wake Forest still has it. But they can't convert.
I think that's somewhat of a win for Wake Forest. You say, you can see how many players attacked Arnis Daughter. So if they could try to get that again, that will obviously open some players up, right, Megan?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that run by McNamara. She overlaps on Hulda and Arnis Daughter, and really if she feeds the ball early and behind, they might be able to convert there, especially if she's pulling 3 defenders to the ball.
That's a lot of navy blue jerseys.
I think they know her number.
Yeah.
I think she was on the scouting report.
They found out she had a
She
bracelet.
came from Iceland, but she is now in the United States.
That's right. Here's a dangerous spot.
They met her at the airport.
That's right. Here's a dangerous spot if you're Virginia, because Madison Hammond, she's got a boot too. And she's going to test the keeper, Ivory. Got a little too off to the left. There's Laurel Ivory, player of the week 2 weeks ago or a week ago. Has 21 shutouts, 4th all-time in shutouts at UVA with 20. Her career's 34, 11, and 5. And guess what? She's also on that MAC trophy list, watch list.
What are the stats on goalkeepers on the MAC watch list?
As far as how many times have they won?
Have they won?
Yeah, it's,
You know, I feel like it's out for an attacking player potentially, or
yeah, this is kind of the Heisman Trophy where either goes to running back or quarterback, right?
right. Goals are exciting.
They are. They are. Virginia kind of moving inside the area. And now away from danger, and it'll be a goal kick.
So far, Wake Forest is matching UVA. They're matching in possession. They're matching with their defensive pressure. I think right now the difference is going to be where Wake Forest turns the ball over. They are turning it over. They need to hold the ball more. Try to possess it a little bit. Keep the ball off Virginia's feet, because this is trouble right now.
Yeah, the depth of this UVA team, full display there. 2 of the substitutions already making noise. Whistle blown, and the offside call.
That's not McCool on that offsides. Ty.
I knew you were gonna. You couldn't
I had to do
resist.
it. I couldn't resist.
Couldn't resist. McCool was,
No, she was off.
she was offside, and the AR was on top of it. It wasn't good. Well, how far did we go? All right, 16 minutes left in the first. Dropped the McCool. 29 minutes in, and Megan drops the McCool.
I had to do it. I was kind of hoping the graphic on my name could change to Megan McCool instead of Megan Cox. What do you think?
Well, I mean, way you walked up into the press box, pretty cool. So, cut out. Here comes the grad transfer. Youngener had McNamara. But Virginia comes back with possession. Jarrett has some options. McCool has her hand up. Jarrett looking for some kind of outlet or play. She'll play Zandy. And here's Gorzak to Zandy. Zandy with a little bit of space. Let's see if Gorzak tests Kennedy. And a full volley by Arnestadter, who gets all the way down here. Morse moves up, as well as the whole back line for Virginia. The #1 Cavaliers, the first time since 2015 that they have had that title. And their 8-0 mark is the 6th longest winning streak in UVA history. They're gunning for a national title. Last year, of course, it went to Florida State. It was #1 at the beginning of the season. Now it's Virginia.
I'll say coming into this game, the concern for Wake Forest was going to be how do they contain Virginia's attack? McCool, Jarrett, Sumner, Spainstra. I can name the whole roster. And I've been really impressed by how organized Wake has been at the back and how you can see them working as a unit, a single unit where they're staying compact, tied together almost like on an invisible string. And that's what you want as a coach. And I think this 3-5-2 is something that Tony switched to this week, and he thinks he's found something in it.
Yeah, would you think that if you're playing a team that has outscored their opponent 35-3, you would go to 3 rather than 4 to back?
It sounds scary.
Yes, it does.
But it can also very quickly turn to 5 in the back. And you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Wake Forest players across the back, 6 coming, 7 coming.
Spanstra right to McCool. McCool inside has 2 defenders on her, Bedford and Vicky Krug. Those are 2 top defenders. That'll be tough to get through. They clear it out. The shot department, Virginia leads 2-1. Under 13 to go here in the first half. McCool comes in, Jarrett out.
I'm surprised at that substitution, Jarrett coming out, because I think she's been the real energy for them so far. I know we've had our eye on McCool, but she's really been the one to with so much pace down that right side.
She is an energizer bunny. She makes the Wake Forest players seem like they're on slow-mo. But it's Lexau comes in. And just again to show the depth of Virginia. Showing a little display of her footwork.
Yeah, sweet little move by Bedford. Just whoop.
Schneider
letting the
wants
forward fly by.
Schneider wanted to play it into space. Did have G. DeMarco there. Lexau is one of the freshmen in this number 14 recruiting class this year who came in.
Spanstra is so dangerous 1v1, and Hammond has to come over, and boy, Spanstra right through the legs was going to go by her, and nothing left to do but foul. Honestly, just got tripped up by the nutmeg.
So here's a dangerous spot. Chance for Virginia to make maybe the first goal of the night. Beautiful floater. McNamara using her height comes back down here and tries to head it out. Still in the attacking third. Look at this, Megan. Look at this back line all the way moving up. You don't see anybody in the back. Look at the possession, 56% for Virginia, 44 for Wake Forest. At that point where you see the back line, Megan, if you're a forward, do you feel like you've been disrespected?
No, I think, I mean, I don't know that you look at it that way when you're out there playing. You know,
You don't think that they don't think that you're fast enough to be a threat?
with the three at the back, you mean?
Well, just saying the
Oh,
back
right
line
here.
moving all the way up. I mean, you're
No, I think what it is it's all about, for them, everyone getting involved in the attack. You know, I mean, they're still at the half line, so that's still kind of your offsides line. But for Virginia, it's everyone's involved, no matter where the ball is on the field.
right about
You
there.
have to stay engaged.
Madison Hammond was up against McCool, and Madison Hammond won that bout.
And I think if Wake Forest has a problem with it, then you show them with a long through ball, put one of your forwards in,
There's the coach I know.
and put the ball in the back of the net if you feel disrespected.
That's right. Marco with some space. McNamara turning, she does. McNamara has to turn right back around and use her support. Oh, too high for Ryan Brown. That
too
just skied
much.
over.
Really love to see McNamara hold the ball up a little more up front, give Wake Forest a chance to let other people join the attack. She's getting pushed out of position. But watching DeMarco on the ball is so fun. All these players tonight, I'm just so impressed by the talent on the field.
It's pretty soccer. It really is between both of these teams. Virginia's the #1 team. That's the one that will, of course, grab everybody's attention. But both of these teams and both of these coaches just play a pretty game of footy. Rightfully so. That's a good reason why he's the assistant head coach of the women's national team. 31 NCAA tournaments. There's 25 straight. Impressive 2 ACC tourney titles for Steve Swatson in his 20th season. The rumor is, you know, I know they're looking for a new head coach for the U.S. women's national team. I heard he is on the short list. Now, that's just a rumor, so I think he's very happy with where he is here at Virginia. But if you're a recruit, you say, I'm going to go play for Virginia. That's the assistant head coach for the women's national team. That's got to be an easy draw there. All deflected, but Megan Kennedy makes the save.
I think it's certainly appealing if the head coach of your college team is connected with the national team.
Yeah.
If you are,
Yeah.
if that is your dream, if that is your goal to play for the national team, and I imagine that every player out in this field has that dream and that goal, then it would be intriguing for sure.
14 straight seasons to at least a Sweet 16. They lost last year to Baylor down there in Waco. They beat Texas A&M in an extra time. They lost to Baylor. Sophia Rossi.
Yeah, the consistency of both these teams, the consecutive tournaments, the win percentage, how long Tony and Steve have been at this.
Madison Hammond.
It's just really impressive, you know, to have that consistency year after year after year, because it's hard. It's a grind. It's not easy to do. To come out here year after year, motivate your players, and just feel energetic. But, I mean, those guys are competitive as it gets.
3 UVA, alum are in the World Cup this year. Update ACC women's soccer going on tonight. Pittsburgh and Syracuse. Pittsburgh on top 1-0. So far, that's in the first half. Currently on your ACC Network Extra. Just 3-1 on the shot tally sheet between these two teams. Virginia with the advantage.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that from the beginning. It's a bit of a chess match. Both teams trying to keep possession in the middle of the field and be, you know, wait for those chances. They're trying to be patient, and really they know it's going to take a perfect pass. It's going to take a perfect run to get behind either one of these defenses at this point.
Now, head coach Tony DeLuz will make substitution with that Abby McNamara going out. And Megan McCool finally goes out. Emma Dawson replaces her. Another freshman. Head coach Steve Swanson impressed by what he's seen by his freshman class so far. Gorzak, left side. And Laurier gets back in to action. She hasn't been feeling well, or has been kind of banged up, so she's now back on the field for head coach DeLuz. As you can see a brace on her thigh right there. But that is a very, very talented player to come off the bench if you're Wake Forest. With under 4 minutes to go, 0-0 our score here at Spry Stadium between the #1 Virginia Cavaliers and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Down the left side this time is Peterson.
Such a dangerous
How did
ball
that
by
stay?
Peterson.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry.
not only that, it's just perfectly placed at that back post, and I'm thinking, where is Virginia?
Yeah.
Getting on the end of that ball, Peterson is probably like, somebody help me out here, because that's the ball you want. It's the ball the goalkeeper can't come out and get, but perfectly placed at that back post.
What a wicked spin, though. I mean, I was able to stay in bounds. Impressive.
Definitely a beautiful service.
5'5" senior from Canton, Michigan.
I think the more that Virginia sends in those crosses like that, they're going to start chomping at the bit here and really start to press Wake Forest back line.
Gorzak, 1v1 with Ryan Brown. Now they'll switch sides. And a shot over the crossbar, but a shot makes it 4 shots for Virginia so far in this first half. 1 for Wake Forest. Let's take a look how that developed as Phoebe McLaren just got her torso up, let it ride, goes over the crossbar.
Yeah, McLaren's like, you're not going to step to me? Fine. I'm going to fire it from here. And I got to say, I want more of that. This has been fun watching the possession, but as any of these players get around the 18, you want to see the forwards, midfielders get aggressive. Go ahead and test Kennedy. You know, it was a little sketchy there on a couple of crosses and shots, so I think the time is right for Virginia to step up here and show us that scoring ability.
DeMarco goes down. And she's still on the ground, shaken up. A tense interaction between her. See this as Marco was able to kind of turn, and McLaren kind of gave her a shove.
Yeah, McLaren's a physical player, and Gio just turned right into her, and it looked like she got the wind knocked out of her. Ouch.
Getting kind of physical, and speaking of physical, get ready for football triple hitter tomorrow on the ACC Network. Western Michigan visits Syracuse at noon, then at 4:30 p.m. Central Michigan faces Miami and concludes with that #1 Clemson Tigers hosting the Charlotte 49ers at 7:30 p.m. Friday night football here. Saturday, a whole line of football games tomorrow. There's our slate. Syracuse took on Clemson for that big game up in Syracuse, and Clemson turned on the heat and let everybody know that they're number one. I mean, I don't see anybody in the ACC stopping them, but we'll see. It's been crazy. We've seen crazier things happen. Sophia Rossi trying to get through, under 10 seconds, 8 seconds. Is there a last second chance? 1 second, that will end it for the first 45. And Megan, I'm surprised that it's just 0-0 so far. It's the second game held scoreless in the first half. And that last game was against Minnesota, which actually kept in check Ordonez, who's not playing tonight. But impressive, it's 0-0. We got more soccer coming up after this.